The first woman to ever compete in both the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500 did so in the same year. But before she was ever a race car driver, she was actually an aerospace engineer. Welcome back to Women in Sports Month, the daily series where I'm telling you stories about women you may not have heard of that made a difference in sports. Janet Guthrie was the first woman to ever race in the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500. In 1976, she raced in the World 600, making her the first woman to compete in a NASCAR Winston Superspeedway race. The following year, she qualified and raced in both the Indy 500 and the Daytona 500. She continued to compete in NASCAR, entering 33 more races over 4 seasons. She also went on to compete in 2 more Indy 500s. When she entered in 1978, she actually finished 9th, despite having raced with a fractured wrist that she hid from officials. She competed in 11 IndyCar events with an overall best finish of 5th, and despite her career being cut short due to funding, which is the case unfortunately with a number of female racers. Janet has been inducted into the International Women's Sports Hall of Fame, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Hall of Fame, Automotive Hall of Fame, and this past year, the NASCAR Hall of Fame. And I want to read you one of my favorite quotes from her. She said, "You can go back to iniquity to find women doing extraordinary things, but their history is forgotten or denied to have ever existed. So women keep reinventing the wheel. Women have always done these things and they always will. Women have been a deep part of motorsports history, and for some reason we often pile sand on top of those footsteps and expect women to continue starting from further back. I'm hopeful that as we continue to remember stories like this one, their footsteps can start to be immortalized in more concrete." Be sure to follow along and come back for the next day of Women in Sports Month.